Join me, if you will, in the opening treatment. I will do this in the first person as a spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. I invite you to take it for yourselves also in the first person. Am I coming through? Yes, there I am. Okay. Here's what I know. I know there's one power, one infinite intelligence, one universal presence. It is in us, as us, through us. It is surrounding us. It is all there is. It is that one universal field of energy and intelligence, energy and information. And we shape it by our beliefs, by who we are, and by what we're about. So today we are about recognizing the power of our word, recognizing the truth and goodness of our love, recognizing that we are indeed the opportunity for Spirit to do something special, unique, and different, just like everyone else. Knowing that, we celebrate the goodness of this day. We look for good ideas. We open our hearts and minds to a better way of living, to a better way of being. We do this with ease, with grace, and with joy. In gratitude, I'll let this be, and so it is. Thank you. Such is the nature of life, that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. We are the opportunity for Spirit to be something. So whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your spiritual background, whatever your choices in life, whatever the givens are in your life, you are celebrated and valued here. If you walked in the door from living on the street, or if you walked in the door from your palatial mansion, we are all expressions of the one. And whatever you are when you walk in, the truth has the power to put you in an even better space. You can go deeper, you can go broader, you can go bigger, you can live in more congruence with who and what you really are if you learn and live the principles of truth that we teach here, that come through here. So I am grateful you're here. I'm glad that you chose to spend your time with me, with us, with all of us, looking at some great ideas and some great truth. I invite you before the service is over to take a look around and see who's here. Don't look at the empty seats. Look at who's here and celebrate them, because they are what makes today special. You are what makes today special. I'm grateful and I'm thankful you're here. If you're here for the first time, please be sure and introduce yourself afterwards. If you'd like to, I'd love to chat with you and get to know you, see who you are, and maybe I'll remember your name after that. I can't ever remember Robert's name for some reason, so it's too close to mine, I think. It's a good thing. So that said, let me say that what we do and what we celebrate here is a truth, and the truths that we stand on and believe in are in our program. I invite you to stand with me as we share them together. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love. I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. And so it is. Thank you. Each week we have a different person up here to speak, to share with you, and they are typically our practitioners. For those who are not aware, a practitioner is someone who studied this teaching, who has become licensed to teach it, to bring it forward, and to share it with you in a way that will change your life if you allow it. Today our reading and our prayer time is brought to us by Lee Huffman, who is also a vice president of our board. Come on up. Thank you. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day. I'm astonished by the American English language. It's just amazing. Not only do we have multiple meanings for the same word, which the British gave to us, in the American English, we have multiple words and phrases to convey the same meaning. For example, scientific prayer, spiritual mind treatment, which some people actually shorten down to SMT, affirmative prayer, or simply treatment. You might walk out of here today and hear someone say, "Can you continue treating for me for that?" And it all means the same thing. I believe that one of the biggest gifts that our founder, Ernest Holmes, gave to us was a concept of a structured prayer that helps us to focus our mind on the truth that we know is here so that it can manifest more quickly. Treatment is a very important way of praying that helps me focus on the truth about the situation at hand. We say a treatment in the first person. I say it for myself because I'm not treating for the mind of the person who has come to me for assistance. I'm treating my own mind because I know that my mind is connected and is part of the greater mind, which their mind is also part of, if that makes sense. If not, Bob will explain it afterwards and clean it up. We are all part of one mind, the one mind of God. About 3 weeks ago, my sister-in-law, Kim's brother's wife, Tracy, was given a diagnosis that contained the C word. Many of you have had a diagnosis like this, or we all know someone who has had a cancer diagnosis, and it can be very scary. Tracy's diagnosis came in the form of a tumor around her kidney that was complicated by being dangerously close to a main vein. The doctor said that they needed to operate very quickly, and he was very concerned. He said that they would have to remove one kidney completely and that it was going to be a very delicate surgery. So they conferred with a robot that was going to do most of the work and decided that Friday, March 22nd, last Friday, 12 noon was the best time to go in. There were a lot of concerns that came up, a lot of fears. Kim and her brothers had lost their mother when they were very young. She went in the hospital and did not come out. They had this weighing on their minds. This year, we had planned our first extended family vacation together. We're going to the Great Smoky Mountains in early April. Our children are coming. My sister from Indiana and her husband and her children were coming. And Stacy, Kim's brother, and Tracy, his wife, were coming. But Stacy said, I'm not going to be able to come now because I'm going to use most of my time up on vacation time taking care of my wife after she goes through her cancer surgery. He said that we should cancel our reservations. But we didn't because this teaching kicked in. We were not ready to count out the power of treatment and prayer. I know that they prayed in the traditional sense because that's what they do and that's how we were brought up. We know that prayer is powerful. And I have no doubt that it helped tremendously. Instead of going to the hospital, I stayed home and quietly treated in my mind. I knew that Tracy was an expression and an extension of God. I knew that the doctors, even our friend the robot, were expressions and extensions of God. I knew the outcome was going to be very good. It is what we have been taught all our lives and what this philosophy teaches us even more clearly. It is a simple fact that God is good. Around 4:30, Kim called me and said that Tracy was out of surgery and was resting in recovery. The tumor had been completely removed, and the doctors believed that they were able to leave enough of the kidney to recover full function of both kidneys with no chemo and no further surgery. That was on Friday. Yesterday, just after surgery, They made her get up and walk. And she was doing so well that they sent her home. So she's resting at home today. The story is not about cancer. It's not even about Tracy or Kim or Stacy, and it's definitely not about me. The story is the truth about the power of spiritual mind treatment, or SMT, or treatment, or affirmative prayer, or whatever you want to call it. The gift that we have within each of us. It is a power that you have within you. It is a power to focus our minds and join with Spirit and realize that the world that is here for each one of us. It is a world that works for everything and everyone, and treatment is our way to discover and to know and to attain the full potential of our world. Let's come together and join our thoughts in a spiritual mind treatment. Again, I will say this in the first person because I am treating my own mind. Please take the words that resonate with you and make them yours as you treat your mind. By doing this, we will each join this with Spirit and discover, know, and attain the full potential. Relax and take a deep breath, and know this with me if you will. I know that there is only one God, one Creator, one Spirit, one universal mind. That mind created everything around me simply because it had the desire to express itself. I know that the one, which I call Spirit, created this universe out of itself because there is nothing outside of Spirit. Therefore, I know that I am part of Spirit. I am an expression of Spirit. I am an extension of Spirit. Knowing these things, I know that I live in an amazing world that meets my every need and desire. I know that this world works for everyone. It provides me with health, freedom, prosperity, companionship, and a myriad of opportunities to creatively express myself. It provides me with the success and the significance that I desire, however I define those terms. I deny any thought of lack or resistance. I deny that there is anything that can get in between me and my health, my freedom, my abundance, my relationships, or the ability to joyfully express myself. I know that I live in a world that provides for my every need to the degree that I believe, to the degree that I focus, to the degree that I have faith. I am grateful for this knowing and for the teaching of the leaders who bring this truth to me. I am grateful for my health, my wealth, my family and friends, this wonderful center, this teaching, my job and opportunities to be successful and significant in this world. I accept this truth and know that all is well. So I release these words into the universe knowing that my mind is part of the one mind that created and continues to create everything that I need and desire. I know there is only one, and I am part of that one. Knowing this truth that unites us all, together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Lee. You took us to the heart of the infinite right then and there. Nothing between, he says. Nothing between you and your good. Nothing between me and my good. Nothing standing in the way whatsoever. Wow. With that idea in mind, we were joking out in the lobby before this celebration, and I made a wisecrack to somebody that when I'm looking in the mirror in the morning, sometimes I look and wonder who that old guy is standing between me and the mirror. But that's when I'm focused on what's on the outside. I wonder how many of us early in the morning when we first wake up and we hop out of bed and we run to our mirror, say something like, "The one cause, being pure mind, created me as pure mind in action. God knows me as an intelligent vehicle to its great ideas. Therefore, I know myself as the mind of God in action. I am alert. I am vital. I am intelligent. I am wisdom. I am knowledge. Every idea I need is already within my consciousness. These ideas are now activated in my thought, and I'm fully aware of them. Henceforth and forevermore, I will make right choices and decisions." Or do you say something more like, "Oh God, it's morning"? You know? How different our day is, depending on what we choose, in those very first moments when we wake up. What we say and what we think. How different our day is as we set that tone and things start to move for us. You know, and the power of this is the awareness that how you choose to be, to live, and to think in those first parts of your day are really the power to create your day according to your best idea of it. Is it, "Thank God it's Monday," or "Oh God, it's Monday"? You choose. You get to choose. There's a wonderful story told by a guy named James, a young man who had been in a number of difficult relationships and each time breaking up, feeling disappointed. And he became aware that his contribution to the struggle in those relationships was his constant need to be reassured that he was okay, his constant need to be reassured that he wasn't going to be left. And you know, the more you believe in that you're going to be left and the more you look for that reassurance, the more you ask for it, the more you're creating an opportunity to be left and the opportunity to not be welcomed or recognized. And he thought about it and he said, you know, it started for me when I was a kid. When I was when my father was 53 years old and my mother and I came home from a shopping trip to find him in his bed, after which he went to take a nap, but he had died during his nap from a heart attack. And all of a sudden, everyone else went crazy. He could remember his mother's screams and his sister's hysteria and the family's upset. And he went stoic, shut everything down, and became the strong one for everyone. And then for so many years of his life, as he continued to grow up, he kept that shut in and he kept that held down. And he continued to wait for and watch for, when is she going to leave? When am I going to be left alone? When am I going to be all by myself? And he decided one morning as he was going through yet another breakup to really go deep on that. And so he started writing about, as he always did in his journal. I don't know about some of you journal. I journal a lot. But he did what so many people do in their journals. He was doing the whole whiny thing. What it felt like to be left alone. Here I am again. All of the sadness, all of the grief, all of the pain, pouring his heart out into the journal. And he said he realized the more he did that, the more he wasn't feeling so good. So he decided to try to do something different. And what he did in his journal was he started writing then instead about what he could benefit, how he might possibly benefit from this breakup, what he could learn. And he wrote about things like he could become stronger, he could become more self-aware, he could become more aware of the other person, he could become more aware of the dynamics in his life that he continued to perpetuate in relationship after relationship. And he said, as he finished, one phrase stood out in the journal. And the phrase was this: I can choose what affects me. And he said it just went all through him, cold chills up and down. I can choose what affects me. And he started writing about that and thinking about that. I can choose not to be damaged. I can choose not to be afraid. I can choose not to let this breakup depress me. I can choose to look at mistakes as learning opportunities. I can choose to be confident. I can choose to be happy. He didn't know it, perhaps, but Abraham Lincoln said every man is as happy as he chooses to be. I guess the women didn't count, but he was talking about all of us, I think, when he said that. I can choose to feel loved. Even when I'm all by myself, I can choose. I can choose. And he was so taken by this idea that he wrote it down on his hand so that he could remember it, so he wouldn't forget as his day went by. And as another friend of mine talks about, every time he'd walk through a doorway, he could remember, oh yeah, I can choose what I'm going to be in this room and how I'm going to be. And every time he had a decision to make, and every time he went through anything, he could choose. I can choose. We make, before 9 o'clock in the morning, most Americans make 90 to 95 decisions, according to the statistical scientists. That's a lot of decisions when you're half asleep or when you're waking up. But you can choose what to be affected by and what not to be affected by. And he went on to say, as he wrote that and thought about that, he found his face leaking. He said he didn't think he was crying as much as it was just all of those years of sadness and pain leaking out and releasing and freeing him. I have a friend who has a similar idea, that when she got very clear at one point in her life that she was indeed an eternal being, and she found a spiritual path that led her away from alcoholism and away from that became the way that she put to work her work in AA and some other things. And to keep her memory of that, she had tattooed an infinity sign right here on one side, and then she had the AA sign tattooed here. I don't know if anyone's had tattoos. It really hurts to put them right there. They're bad enough anywhere else, I know, but that one really hurts. It's just you put one on each arm so she could look and remember, this is who I really am. This is what I could have been. But this is where I came from. And it kept her grounded in the truth of her background and the truth of what can happen in her life. But the real truth is right here so she can remember it. Now, I am not recommending you all go get tattoos. I have no kickback from any tattoo artist. That's not part of what's going on here. But we do need to find ways to keep our choices in front of us, to remind us, because we are so bombarded with the idea that we are helpless, that we are powerless, that there is no way that we can choose whether or not to be influenced by things, that there's no way we could choose to be happy in a world that's gone crazy, that we cannot choose our lives and go a certain direction. We get told that constantly. Every time you turn on the television, every time you watch the news, every time you hear a report about anything out there just about, you're told again and again you have no choice. And you better be afraid. You better be very afraid because of where we live now. Well, not so. There's no sense in it. There's all nonsense. The truth is, you can choose. I can choose what affects me. That to me is just awesome, powerful, and important. Dr. Barker, in his wonderful book, Power of Decision, says we can choose what we believe. And our choices about what we believe and our decisions about what to believe will affect our life experiences. Everything we have and do and be and experience comes out of what we believe and feel. Our feelings come out of what we believe. I mean, think about it. I had a friend years ago when we had a solar eclipse here who read it, that if you look at it, it'll cause you to go blind. Well, she misread it and said, if it shines on you, you'll go blind. So she went to her car after work that day as it was starting with a coat pulled up over her head, creeping to her car. Her experience was very different from mine. I walked out with a little box so I could see the whole thing happen. I didn't go blind. She didn't either. Our experiences were different based on what we believed. So you can change how you experience life by changing how you believe it and choosing the beliefs that will support the life that you want. Do you want to believe that you should be afraid all the time? Do you want to believe that your life, your personal life, is being bombarded by all of the horrors that people talk about? Do you want to believe that you're limited by what they think, whoever they are? Or do you choose something different? Barker says, if you make an in-depth decision, that's where you start. You make an in-depth choice about what you believe. An idea comes by you. Say an idea of you can be happy. He says in here, I can choose to be happy. That idea pops in. You go, I can choose to be happy. Well, why am I so grumpy all the time? Well, I could choose to be happy. And then you make a decision, a commitment, a choice to say, I choose to be happy. And then the entire universe begins to line up. The laws begin to work. People begin to walk into your life to support your happiness. Things begin to happen. They show up. Ideas show up. I love Google. She responds to me all the time, according to my beliefs. I can believe I'm going to have the right idea, the right talk, the right words, the right examples, the right definitions for this for a Sunday, and Google it, and there it all is. I can also go into it thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to find anything at all, and you know what? I don't. The entire universe is saying yes to us with whatever we choose. And as simple a thing as Google. It's just energy and information. Just like this universal field in which we live. It's made of the same stuff. So once you make a decision, you decide and you choose, whether you see yet how it can happen or not, I choose. I choose health. You chose health for your sister-in-law. Yeah. Make the choice. Once you make the choice, then things start to line up. And then there's more to do. You follow this with this idea. I have a right to this choice. That's a great question. Oftentimes people don't feel they have the right. I was working with someone once who had this dream job she wanted to do. She kept applying for it and getting turned down. She was going to go live in the South Pacific. It was the greatest thing yet for her, but she couldn't get it. She'd get the job, and then something would happen, they'd cancel it. This and that and the other. So finally, I asked her, so what is it about this? Do you think you deserve this job? Well, I really haven't worked hard enough for it. I'm like, well, there you go. So we talked a little further, and I said, what if all of this mental work you've done, all of this treatment, all of this visioning and dreaming about this job is all the work necessary that you need to do to get that job? And a light bulb went off, and she said, you're right. That's all I need. She got a call the next day, and a week later, she was in the South Pacific. I have a right to my good. I have a right to be happy. I have a right to be prosperous. I have a right. Why? What is my right? My right is I'm a spiritual being. I'm an expression of the infinite. And I get to choose my life. I dare you. The next step is then to say, others can do it, so can I. We all are using the same mind, by the way. Is that a scary thought or a wonderful thought? You can decide. I think it's pretty wonderful. We don't have to know what's in each other's minds and each other's individual use of it, but we're all using the same mind. So if one person using the same minds and emotions can accomplish this, I can too. I have a right to it. I can do it because someone else can. If you can, I can. If Chan can cook, anybody can cook. I have the same mind and emotions that they do. Now, here's the part. I command or demand my own individual subconscious mind to use all of its intelligence, which is infinite intelligence that's available to our subconscious mind. I command it to make this happen, to make me prosperous, to make me happy, to make me healthy, to make me free, to make me feel good about myself. Whatever it is that you're choosing to believe in, it's right there. And the how to do it is right there, waiting for you to simply command it. You see, the happiness prosperity, love, all of those things that you may choose from are already present in spirit 100%. They're present, they're yours already. And by choosing them, you bring them fully into your experience. Now, there are some things you have to do to follow up. There's some things you have to stop doing. You have to stop complaining. I know, I'm sorry. You have to stop complaining about the absence of that which you have chosen to have in your life. You know, I've been treating for prosperity, and I got another bill in the mail, and my car broke down, and my electricity went up, and the power went off, and the roof fell in, and stop it! Instead, how about thank God I have the money to pay for all that? Find a way to stay positive with the idea rather than getting caught up in complaining about all the reasons why it ain't happening. Because every time you do that, what we do is create a greater opportunity for it not to happen. Mind responds to our thought. Our subconscious mind responds to what we command of it. And when we command complaining, it's going to come right on back and complain more for us and bring us greater opportunities to do that. Instead, command it to bring and be happiness, prosperity, joy, freedom. How about some things you start doing? Start doing something different. Open up the flow of circulation. Drive to work a different way than you always do. Eat your breakfast in a different order. Eat something different for breakfast than you eat every morning. Do something to break up the pattern that you have established that locks you in. Find a way to open yourself to some new flow and some newness that will allow those greater ideas to begin to circulate and flow within you. This opens up your receptivity to life. It opens the circulation. Find a way to give more. If you're wanting to be more prosperous, find a way to give more, because that creates a greater circulation. If you don't have the money to give more time and energy to something you love and something you cherish, something that you want to see flourish or grow, or just be good with people. And then write your decision down. Today I choose to be. And write it down on your hand if you need to, but write it down somewhere that you'll remember to see it again and again and again. Because in the business of changing our minds, we get lots of distractions. A friend of mine says, the road to success is lined with many, many appealing parking lots. And I think that's the idea of it. There's so many other places to go. We have to find a way to consciously and intentionally keep our mind and our thoughts in the direction of that which we've chosen. And continue to move it there and to come back to it and to look at it again and again. Now, I said in the write-up about this talk, we're going to talk about how to change your mind and keep it changed. Well, the keep it changed part is discipline, commitment, and a willingness to put in place some techniques and activities to keep you coming back to the good idea you chose. Kennedy used to say, once you treat for something and you've got it in place and you find yourself thinking about all these opposite stuff, all these opposite things that come in, grab your mind by the back of the neck and remind it, we've done this work. You can stop now. You don't have to complain and carry on. Just stay with the focused truth. And that all sounds really easy, but it can be a challenge when you get distracted, when the squirrel cage starts. Anybody have the midnight squirrel cage? I'm the only one where you wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, and you're just going. The mind is going. Yeah, but what about that? It's going to happen. This could happen. What if that happens? And what if you do this? What if that goes on? And how did you get here all by yourself anyway? Who knew that you were grown up? And got to get off the squirrel cage. The best way to get off the squirrel cage is do something else. It's like telling you, don't think about something. Stop thinking negative thoughts. Well, that ain't going to happen. Stop thinking about a pink elephant. First thing comes to your mind is what? Pink elephant. The only way to stop our thinking is by replacing it with something else. Think about a gray elephant. Think about how successful you are that you have a place to sleep so you can wake up in the middle of the night. Find a way to find something else to think about at that moment. Keep it changed. Keep it changed by reading daily reminders. That's what the Science of Mind magazine provides such a great tool for. That's where things like daily readers, that's where reading our through the year that we're doing with the Science of Mind textbook right now. Even if you don't do it every day, when you realize that you're getting a little off track, grab it and jump in and read it. Because it will remind you of the truth of who you are. Because you don't hear it out there too many places. But you'll hear it in there and you'll hear it in here. And then, just find a simple technique or a simple tool or a simple idea that will help you focus all of it and come back to it. My friend Henry in Florida, one of my first practitioner students, was also caught up in some pretty intense personal issues and stuff going on in his life and family issues and all of that. And at one point he said, I just want peace of mind. And I said, you're willing to choose that? I choose peace of mind. And it became his mantra. He never treated for anything else except peace of mind. He treated for, because he in his belief system, he knew if he had peace of mind, everything else would be okay. He could handle whatever came to his plate, to his life, to his face. And he would create more and more opportunities to live peacefully and peace of mind. And he moved through all of those crises and out of those crises and has continued, became a minister in another New Thought organization, and continues to speak and teach peace of mind. One thing. The old, well, some would say it's old, some would say it's new. The Bible said in one of the New Testament books says that blessed are the pure in spirit, for they shall see God. Pure in spirit simply means to have one idea and stick to it. Purity of spirit, purity of direction, purity of focus. Find that thing for you. It might be peace of mind, it might be joy, it might be happiness, it might be prosperity, it might be freedom. Whatever it is, when you decide, and you choose it, and you choose to do and think through all of the things that it is about for you, and could be about for you. See, the ideas are possibilities from the infinite. Our job is to accept these ideas, one or another, or usually sometimes one at a time, and really deciding upon it, and coming to believe in it in a clear-cut way that can only manifest in your life. Because you see, you already have all that inside of you. I'm not suggesting you got to go out and get something you don't have. You already have within you the ability to do this. You're hardwired with it because you're an expression of the Creator. Because you're living in this soup of spirituality. You already have it. You just get to choose it. And I invite you to choose wisely, because you can choose any way you want to, and it's all going to be good. Because you're wonderful, and so am I, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So let's take a few moments now and go within with our choosing. I invite you to simply turn away from all the stuff outside. Let your mind go to center. Turn away from whatever chitter-chatter may be happening. Let go of the yes buts and the if onlys. And let your heart open and your mind guide you to one idea. Not the only idea forever, but for today. One idea that you choose for yourself. Not one you wish to choose, but choose it. By saying in the privacy of your own mind, I choose. I can choose. I deserve this. It is available to me from within the infinite mind that I am attached to and connected with. Therefore, it is mine now. And know that in this moment, in this place, the choice I have just made is the Word of God speaking of itself to itself. I am an expression of that infinite, therefore my word is the word spoken in truth, spoken in the fullness of God within me, and I choose happiness or joy or prosperity or freedom. I choose to live as the very best version of myself I could possibly ever be or imagine. I choose to grasp and live in only those ideas which support me and support who I am and what I'm about and where I want to be and go. I choose the ideas right now that fulfill me in every way possible. For I know that as I choose these ideas for myself, I am in part of a unified field of energy and information, a spiritual oneness that connects me with all things. By choosing for myself, I am choosing good for everyone according to their ideas for themselves. And then adding to the goodness of the world, adding to the joy, the freedom, the prosperity, the love, the light for everyone. But only as I choose it for myself first. So in this choosing, right here and now, in this moment, I declare it to be done, complete. I'm grateful it is so. I'm grateful that it is now my life, that my life has now taken a new, grander, greater direction as a result of this. And in this moment, I let this be the truth for me because it is, and nothing whatsoever stands against it or between me and it. It is who I am and what I am in this time, in this place. I let it be so, and so it is. Thank you. And so as we continue to open up the flow, open up life, we do so by opening up the flow of prosperity through our center. We are a prosperous center. We continue to be a prosperous center, and we continue to expand in our prosperity as we do so through your gifts, your giving. If you give online with us, thank you. As the basket comes by, just put a little blessing in it to go with that. If you have nothing to give today except a blessing is wonderful. We'll take it. Nothing wrong with that. So as the basket comes by, let it be a practice of giving, because it is in the giving that we receive. It is in the giving that our lives expand.